This is Sid Haas with LKCS. I'm the Vice President of Business Development, and thank you very much for attending today. We're going to be talking about statement processing and some of the Transpromo marketing options that are available for you from LKCS and potentially other vendors as well, but really talk about how you can take your statements and personalize them and include effective target marketing messages and ads and things within the statements and e-statements. For those of you that are not familiar with LKCS, this slide just shows a little bit about what we do. LKCS was started back in 1961, and we've been serving credit unions and financial institutions since that time. So all of our solutions were really designed around that market and serving all of your marketing and member and customer communication needs. So the company started as a commercial printing company. We still operate our own printing and mailing equipment, but obviously, as you can see from this chart, we've expanded into many different areas. Statement processing is a key piece of our business. We're approaching processing statements for about 150 credit unions on a monthly basis. And we also do a lot of digital printing, a lot of one-to-one marketing, a lot of web development, and electronic marketing as well. And a lot of what we're going to be talking about today, you'll be able to see how we can, send these cross-sell offers and these one-to-one offers, across multiple media. We view statements and e-statements as just another, media in the mix. So everything, that we do can coexist across all of the different platforms available to you. So the term that's come out in the industry in the past 5 years is a term called Transpromo or transpromotional marketing. Many people haven't heard of that term yet, but what it is it's a compound word made up of the two words transaction and promotional, and the concept of transpromo marketing is to combine marketing and advertising messages with your transactional documents, your statements, your daily notices, the types of things that you're sending out with, account information and transactions on them. And what we're able to do is mine data out of those statements or out of other data files, use the information that we find about each account holder to then market back to them with specific types, of offers and messages. The advantage, obviously, to you is that you take advantage of the postage that you're spending on your statements. Postage is the largest component of your statement cost. So the more you can leverage that postage, the better. And obviously, I don't need to tell you this, you already know it, but postage is never going to go down. So it's only going to continue to increase. So you need to leverage, the cost of that postage, as best you can. We'll talk about e-statements quite a bit as well. Obviously, one way you're reducing those postage costs, is by driving people to e-statements, which is terrific. But what you want to make sure is when you're delivering an e-statement that you're not sacrificing the marketing and advertising value. So we'll talk quite a bit about how you can incorporate, these Transpromo offers into your e-statements as well. So the first option that we're going to be talking about is the ability to actually print graphical ads directly onto the statements. LKCS and some other vendors call these Onserts, as opposed to the inserts that are inserted into the envelope and included with your statements. Onserts are printed directly on the statement pages themselves. These ads can be delivered to all, of your account holders or to specific groups of account holders based on any number of criteria. So we can look at account relationships, we can look at balances, we can look at demographics, we can look at geography, as far as where they live, and any of those combined to trigger these different ads. So the same ad technology or Onsert technology that we have enables us to, obviously it gets you past just the text messages that you may be including on your statements now, and really enables you to include graphical ads on the statements. But we can also print things like loan payment coupons and rate grids and even some regulatory notices that you may currently now be sending separately or be sending as statement inserts. I'll show you how we can actually incorporate those directly into the statements. And know when we talk about these statement ads or onserts that you have the ability to design these yourselves and send them to us. You can select ads from an online catalog of hundreds and hundreds of ideas that we have out there for you, or we have our graphic design team that can certainly custom design these ads for you as well. Just to give you a sneak peek at what these onserts or ads can look like, here are a few different statements that show you how the ads are placed. You'll see on the left just a general marketing type offer, and we'll look at some of these in more detail. In the center, you'll see actually one of our loan payment coupons, and we'll talk about that a little bit later as well. And on the right, you're actually seeing one of our clients who I believe is on the call today, but they are printing some onserts on their daily notices in addition to their statements. So, they've embraced the onsert and the ad technology on their statements, and they've extended that, into some of the daily notices that they're sending out as well. These are some of those onserts a little bit larger. These onserts can be any size. So while most of our clients are printing smaller ads like this one at the bottom of the first page of their statements, in certain cases, some of our clients, like the example on the right, are printing a larger ad. This probably took up about 2/3 of a page, maybe a little bit less. And keep in mind that we have the ability to also personalize these ads and onserts themselves. So in the case of this skip a pay form, we actually pre-populate names and account numbers right onto these ads when we send them out, with the statements. So we can have, mini application forms and different things like that already pre-filled out, waiting for your member to sign them and send them in. Since these ads can be any size, we also have the ability to incorporate cover letters with your statements. So the example here of a statement letter is obviously a skip a pay, campaign. But, remember when I said that these ads can be sent to selective groups, of account holders, we can find out which of your, account holders qualify for an offer such as this skip a pay campaign, print these letters as the first page of their statements, and account holders that don't qualify just receive their statement. In this example, these letters are printed as the first page of the statement with all of the other statement pages appearing right behind it. So the entire statement is obviously still, mailed to each account holder, only we're taking, the first page and turning it into a truly personalized direct mail campaign. These are perfect for these types of offers to welcome a new member, to the credit union, or a new customer to the bank. You have the ability to, send a letter from the president or CEO. We use these for referral campaigns. And with our relationships with all three of the credit bureaus, we also have the ability to send pre-screened statement letters. So in these two examples, we can actually take your account holders, get your underwriting criteria for different loan offers, send the names and addresses of your account holders to the credit bureaus, and identify specifically based on your FICO score requirements, your credit history requirements, loan to value, all sorts of different, credit parameters. Find out which statement recipients will qualify for those offers and deliver these pre-screen offers as the first page of the statements, again, only for members who qualify for the different offers. So the offer on the left is for a home equity loan. The offer on the right is for a vehicle loan. And in case you're wondering, when you're seeing color, LKCS does have the ability to print statements in color. But you also have the ability certainly to present, to print your statements in black, but present them as e-statements in color. And we'll talk about that, within the next few slides as well. In addition to the Onsert capability, you do have the ability, with LKCS and other vendors to also do selective inserting. So right now, chances are you're sending all of your inserts or most of your inserts to all of your statement recipients. Well, you can reduce potentially some printing costs and things like that, and also just, improve the effectiveness of those inserts by selectively including them for specific groups, of members. So for example, we have some clients that have different versions of a newsletter. They have their standard newsletter, they have a kids newsletter, some may even have a senior newsletter, and we can deliver the appropriate newsletter to the appropriate account holder, based on the birth date that we would receive in a separate file. We can trigger these inserts or these onserts, again, by any type of account relationship, whether they have an account or don't have an account with you, by balances, by specific activity we can mine out of the statements, by geography, the city or the zip code, things like that, where the statement recipient lives. Any other statement, data that we can find in that data file, we can use to trigger these. And obviously, we can also trigger these inserts and onserts from separate data files. So if you have the ability, from your systems in-house, whether it's your core system or an MCIF system or a database marketing platform like DataFlex by LKCS, you can send us a list of account numbers of people that you want to receive or don't want to receive certain inserts or onserts, and we can include them based on that separate file. So moving on, we also have the ability to print messages on your envelopes, both on the front and the back of your statement envelopes. And if this is something you're not taking advantage of, I really encourage you to talk to us or talk to your vendors. Try opening an envelope without looking at the back side. It sounds simple, but it's actually very, very difficult to do. The back side of that envelope is truly a billboard. And to give you an idea of cost, LKCS charges $10.50 per 1,000 envelopes to print an ad on the back of those envelopes. We actually send out a series of 5 or 6 pre-designed envelope designs. We send them to our clients on a quarterly basis. You can select one of those. You can design your own. We can custom design one for you, or we can even send you examples, from months and years past, based on the topic that you want to promote, of other envelope ads or envelope backers, we call them, that you can choose from. I've already talked about e-statements. We realize, just like you, that e-statements are the future, for the majority of your statements. But what we see too often is honestly inferior e-statement solutions, that are delivering the e-statements and saving you money, but they're not delivering any type of marketing value or any, nice experience, for the member. So keep in mind that all transpromo techniques can be incorporated into our e-statements for sure, including, the onsert capability that we talked about, the reformatting of the statement data, where we're able to change fonts and add, account headings and things like that. But clearly you can see how these 2 onserts, the one at the top for Don't Tax My Credit Union and the one in the center for the 1.99% auto loan, because they're presented in color, they jump off of that statement. Your eye is not drawn to the statement data. It's drawn to these 2, onserts that are displayed with the e-statements. With e-statements, there are other marketing opportunities that you have available to you as well. With LKCS, and most vendors send an email to account holders when their latest statement is available. Well, we give you the ability to customize that email, so you can actually turn, that email notification into your electronic newsletter, letting members know of the latest campaigns, the latest offers, the newest things happening at your institution, in addition to letting them know that their e-statement is available. With home banking and mobile banking and things, we're all in tune, or at least many of us are in tune with our balances on a regular basis. We may not always need to look at that e-statement, but this gives you an opportunity to market, all of the new things and all of the current things that are happening at your financial institution to your electronic members, whether or not, they actually access the e-statement. LKCS displays banner ads with our statements, so just like we deliver statement inserts with our paper statements, those same materials can be delivered with our e-statements by linking them to, from banner ads. So we would display a banner ad for each of the statement onserts, that would be in an account statement. They can also link to web pages, on your site, to online applications, to microsites, to calculators, or obviously to any type of PDF document. And just like we can selectively insert inserts with your paper statements or selectively display onserts, on your statements and e-statements, we can selectively display these banner ads to different groups of members as well. We have some advanced capabilities, so if you have a larger promotion and want to have a specific landing page or want to have some type of pop-up or hover ad, we have the ability to add those to our e-statement solution as well. So just like if you go to one of the current news sites or sports sites, and a lot of times a little commercial will pop up or some small video, you could do the same type of thing if you wanted to with your e-statements. It's a little intrusive, so I wouldn't recommend doing it every month. But again, for if you're launching a new major product initiative or something like that, it may be something for you to consider. So I want to go through just the top 5 reasons why you should use TransPromo now. And number 1 is that statements actually do get opened and read. I don't quite agree with the numbers that you're seeing on this slide. However, numerous surveys have been taken in the last 2 years by different trade organizations, by the post office, at least 3 or 4 that have come back with surprisingly the same number. And what they're saying is that 95% of statements are opened each month. Again, I honestly don't believe the number is that high, but even if it's off by as much as a factor of 2, that's still saying that over 45 to 50% of statements are opened each month, and that's exceeding what a lot of direct mail campaigns are getting. So, the statements are opened and read, and we know, we'll talk about the effectiveness of some of these onserts in a couple of slides, but we know that members do pay attention to the onserts on their statements, and they look for them from month to month. So reason number 2 to use TransPromo is it does save you money. Obviously, if you're sending out separate direct mail campaigns and also mailing your statements, you can significantly reduce some postage costs by combining those together. You can also save on some printing costs, of statement inserts and different things like that by printing these onserts directly onto the statements, as opposed to printing another insert or having a vendor ship an insert in, or something like that. TransPromo supports that migration to e-statements. LKCS's e-statements are identical to our paper statements, and as I showed you, they include, all of the TransPromo marketing elements. So all of the options that you have with your paper statements are also included with our e-statements. But what's unique is that we can include different offers and different ads and things like different messages on our paper statements than we do on our e-statements. So on your paper statements, both on the back of the envelope potentially, or as an onsert, printed on the statement or even as a statement insert, you can certainly promote the adoption of e-statements. And your e-statement members, anybody signed up for e-statement would receive different offers, or have their statement data in that place. And again, when you are promoting or when you are including onserts on your e-statements, those are presented in color. Color doesn't cost more to print, to display on an e-statement, while it does cost more to print on a paper statement. And, like we showed you, I really think that color onserts really jump off the page on an e-statement. So there's no reason for you to be incorporating black and white ads on your e-statements, even if you're printing them, in black and white or grayscale on your paper statements. And reason number 4, obviously going along with the environmentalists and the green trend, TransPromo is green. You are reducing, carbon emissions. We're saving paper. We're saving envelopes. We're saving the expense, and the exhaust of transporting those materials. So obviously TransPromo is going to, keep pace with all the environmental changes. And the most important reason is that it works. We see this from month to month, by hearing things from our customers. But to give you some surveys, Zoomerang and InfoPrint, which are 2 trade organizations, did a recent survey that shows that 64% of their survey respondents would use personalized coupons printed onto their statements. And again, if you compare that to the typical 1% response rate, that banks and credit unions receive from direct mail campaigns, there's a huge potential difference there. We have not seen an Onsert get a 64% response rate, but we have seen them, do exceptionally well, especially the ones that are targeted and personalized. Those statement letters, as I showed you, those are highly effective and get very, very high response rates. So they will get noticed, they will get read on your statements. LKCS, makes the process easy. If you talk to any of our clients, I hope that they would all, I guess, testify to that. But we help you identify, who's going to receive each of these ads. We can design these ads for you, or design any messages or statement letters, anything that you're going to be sending out. Obviously, our programming staff takes care of all of the variable data printing and making sure that the right ads are embedded into the right statements and e-statements. We obviously then print and mail your statements and deliver that e-statements, and you get the credit. So, this is really one of the things that sets LKCS apart, from our competitors, is how easy we make this entire process. So I want to share some, I guess, more sophisticated examples with you of how to incorporate, this statement marketing into your statements. Everything that I've shown you so far is what I consider like a one-time use campaign. You have a specific marketing promotion or a specific campaign that's launched for, some amount of time, and you're designing ads and Onserts and messages and things to support that campaign. But there's ways that you can actually automate some of your marketing and look for very specific cross-sell opportunities or upsell opportunities that you can take advantage of from month to month when account holders meet very specific conditions. So you have that ability to set it and forget it, look at it once a year, twice a year, tweak what you're doing, but you don't have to remember from month to month, how you want to take advantage of some of these situations. It really is, it becomes true one-to-one marketing. I'm going to show you several examples and ideas for you to consider, but your members will notice, your account holders will notice that you're paying attention, to what's happening in their accounts and their relationships with you by the advertising that you're sending to them. So some ideas on how to do this is obviously your new account holders. Let's welcome them to your financial institution either with a statement letter, or a small Onsert that's printed when they receive a statement the first month. We can look at CD renewals, who's got a CD coming due, do we want to keep that money at the financial institution or let it go? If we want to keep it, we could print potentially, a rate grid. Not sure if that's the best idea in today's rate environment, but, obviously we can remind, that member of the different CD options they have, certificate options they have with us. Loan payoffs, we can thank, an account holder for paying off a loan, remind them of our loan services, similar to what we're doing with auto loan recapture. We run a lot of separate auto loan recapture campaigns for many of our clients. We can do the same thing, in conjunction with the statements. So we can look at people that may have had an auto loan for 36 months, and reach out to them and let them know of, that we appreciate their business and that, we're here for their next auto loan before they even approach the dealer, about trading that vehicle in. And maybe that's something we do every 6 months, after that 36-month period as an example. Birthday messages, it's simple, it's easy, and it really shows, an account holder that you care. If they have a birthday in the month that they're getting a statement, you can just print a little happy birthday message right on the statement. I'll actually show you an example of one of those. The loan payment coupons I had mentioned, I'll show you another example of those. We have more and more of our customers that are incorporating these loan payment coupons on their statements. Kids clubs and teen clubs, obviously those members will most likely, respond to a different ad than their parents. So let's make sure that we're delivering ads appropriate to those age groups, or not delivering ads to them at all if you don't want to market, to minors. Many of our clients are growing by mergers. So if that's in your strategic plan, let's set up Onserts that we can use to cross-sell, new accounts and services to members that we're acquiring, as the result of mergers. Same things for segs. You bring in a new seg, let's get the list of members, from that seg, or as, you gain members, and let's send them, specific offers, or welcome that seg into the fold. And there's numerous other cross-sell opportunities, right? I mean, because we can look at all of those relationships, maybe once or twice a year you want to look at the people that have checking accounts but don't have direct deposit, and promote direct deposit, or have home banking but don't use bill pay or don't have bill pay. All of those types of things, we can look at, we can automate, we can have those ads in place and use them for you on a recurring basis. So here are just a few examples. The top two, I really like. They were designed by one of our credit unions in the St. Louis area, but I like the fact that they've really embraced the technology with some simple messaging. I mean, just this little happy birthday message I think is great. I know their members really appreciate it. The same credit union is known for serving popcorn in their lobby. A new member, when the first statement they receive, has this Onsert printed on it, just welcoming that individual to the credit union, letting them know a few of the highlights, of doing business with the credit union, but again, just is taking advantage of a specific situation. And the loan payment coupon that you're seeing here, it's actually a HELOC coupon. And again, we can personalize these Onserts. So in this case, we're actually pulling information from another spot on the statement, and we're using that to pre-fill in this loan payment coupon. We can do this for multiple loans. So, for members with multiple loans, they would receive multiple coupons, or we can actually add additional lines to the same coupon for all of the loans, for that member. It's great, for things like HELOCs that have, variable payment amounts potentially from month to month. Members really appreciate having these coupons, and if you're sending out separate loan payment coupon books, we can probably save you a ton of money by integrating these right into the statements. We also have the ability to do matrix-based statement campaigns. So one of the services that we offer, many of our members is the concepts of matrix mailings. With a matrix mailing campaign, what we're doing is sending out a series of letters or emails to members, cross-selling different products and services over a period of time. We use it most often for new members, for new account holders, like a formal onboarding program. But again, if you're growing by merger, a matrix program is the perfect way to introduce, new members that were acquired to your range of products and services. Do the same thing if you open a new branch and you start to obviously get members in that branch. You want to continue to grow that branch and build the profitability as fast as you can. We can look at segs. If you feel the membership changes, anything like that could be the opportunity for a matrix campaign. We can incorporate these matrix campaigns with your statements, as well. So even if you're sending out separate letters or separate emails, we can also include separate Onserts for these, different members in the mix. So any of those, types of media can be combined together. Let me share what one of our credit unions is doing. This is an example of a flowchart of a very simplified matrix. We've actually simplified this a little bit, so this isn't exactly what this credit union is doing, but what they have is a new member joins the credit union, and what we look for right off the bat is whether that member is over age 16. And if they're not over age 16, we're not going to market to them. So we're not going to send them any Onserts. They're going to get their regular statement, and that's it in this particular case. But if they are over age 16, we're going to look right away and see if that member, when they establish their membership, did they open a checking account. If they didn't, they're going to get an Onsert, to open a checking account. Maybe that Onsert includes a special offer for a free checkbook cover or a box of checks or, something like that. If they do have a checking account, they're going to get an online services Onsert. This Onsert is going to go to everybody. So if the member did have a checking account, their second statement would actually include that online services Onsert. After those two Onserts, in this case, we're going to start to promote loans, but we're only going to promote loans to the members who are both over age 21 and had a credit score over 700 when they joined the credit union. This particular credit union, in this example, they run the credit on any new member. So when that member joined, if they had a credit score over 700, they would begin to send them, loan offers. If they didn't have a credit score over 700 or were not over age 21, they wouldn't see any other specialized Onserts from this campaign. They would just receive the regular Onserts, that were included with all of the other statements potentially. But if they meet those conditions, then we'll look and see if they have an auto loan with the credit union, and we'll print an auto loan Onsert for those that don't have an auto loan. We'll look for a home loan and print a HELOC Onsert for those that don't have a home loan. And in this example, at this point, that's the end of the matrix. So members would get, 3 or 4 potentially Onserts as part of this campaign, and then they would start to receive just the standard Onserts included with the statements. The credit union actually has great success with this campaign, and they've added a few other Onserts to actually encourage referrals and things like that to new members. But let me show you what their Onserts look like. So these are actually the Onserts that this particular credit union uses. And what I really like about their Onserts is that every one of them includes a little special offer in this black box. So you'll see at the top, they're offering a 0.5% off of the loan, but they offer things like little free gifts or a free box of checks. So it doesn't always have to be, a large line item, I guess. But these can be small offers, and members do take advantage of them. The credit union, we actually send them reports every month on the results of this campaign, where we are able to measure for them how many new accounts are opened, the associated balances on those accounts, so they'll know how many loans, and how many checking accounts, were opened as a direct result of these matrix campaigns, these Onsert campaigns. They'll know how many, members signed up for home banking or bill pay or direct deposit, things like that, as a result of these Onsert campaigns. And I can say that the campaign easily pays for itself based on the new business that it generates month after month, cross-selling to new members. So if you haven't, considered incorporating, a formal onboarding type campaign into your statements, we can certainly discuss that. And that's all I had for you today. So, obviously, thank you again for your time. I have not seen any questions pop in, but I will stay on the line and answer those. As I mentioned, everybody will be receiving a copy of today's presentation, and I encourage you to take a look at our YouTube channel at youtube.com/LKCS Peru, and you'll be able to find this and other webinar videos posted there.